Yeah. I'm Eric Russell. I am out and about with Sir Ari Gold. How are you doing today?
I am good. I was going to say, this is not the first time that I've been in bed with a handsome bear such as yourself.
Right. Yay!
We're in bed together. This is very, very intimate
interview. Bed with Ari Gold. Yay! So welcome to Richmond. None of us have had sleep because it is Pride Week, so this is a really big time for us.
Yeah. Because we're in bed, we gotta like jump up in
bed.
Woo!
Oh God, now I need a cigarette.
So let's go.
So what's up? So you're here in Richmond for the first time, and you got taken around, and I heard you went to the comic book store.
Yes, I'm a nerd.
I am too. So DC or Marvel?
I know that in the real nerd world, Marvel is considered way cooler than DC, but you know what? I'm just a DC guy. Oh yeah.
Yep, DC.
Well, really, for me, it's all about Wonder Woman.
Okay, yeah.
She's really been my biggest obsession, and she's really the only comic that I collect. I have some Archies, I have some Superman, and some Batman, but it's really all about Wonder Woman.
The bracelets.
It's,
the lasso, the whole thing.
The whole thing. I mean, you know, the story of the lasso is that, you know, the creator of Wonder Woman, Charles.
Mm-hmm. I know the last name too. He invented the lie detector.
Yes, Charles.
Whatever, begins with an M.
I had no sleep last night,
right.
So I apologize. But anyway, yeah, he invented the lie detector test, and so that was his inspiration for the lasso. And I think the whole idea of trying to get to the truth,
absolutely,
is fascinating.
And she's a fantastic character. She's the only female comic book character whose book has never ever been canceled. Continuous publication. She's
the greatest female comic hero, a superhero, you know, American superhero, and it's really a Shonda, which means shame in Yiddish.
The 52 fiasco?
No.
Okay.
Oh, well, I want to talk to you about that afterwards.
Yeah.
No, that there hasn't been a cinematic representation of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, there's been no movie.
I mean, you know, Linda Carter, she's a lot to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
So she remains the best personification, but it's time. I actually created a Facebook page to make sure that when they do the Wonder Woman movie, Linda Carter plays Hippolyta, her mother. So
that'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be fantastic.
It's gotta happen.
And Linda created the spin. She invented the spin.
She invented the spin. I mean, that's very cool because it is such an iconic character. So to actually have played her but invented something within the
which is now considered
mythology.
part of her.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Love you, Linda. And Jared Jones worked with Linda Carter.
That's
too.
right. See, there's a tie-in.
And I would not be here if not for Jared Jones. Okay. So I just want to say that. I can't say it enough. Jared Jones.
He's the man.
He's the man. He's my hero. And Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman.
Jared and Wonder JJ and WW.
There we go. Everything comes in twos. So besides being fantastically involved with Wonder Woman, we love her. I had no idea that you were part of Gem and the Holograms. You did a voice all these years ago because I was a big cartoon nerd. I was watching He-Man and She-Ra, and Mom said, had she known I was into Leathermen with harnesses and muscles and stuff, she never would have bought me that damn action figure.
You think that's where it all began?
I was like, I fell in love with that figure, but you have to figure out He-Man, many faces, and you got a character named Fisto. Mattel makes a character named Fisto. He had a giant metal arm with... Really? Mattel? He-Man? Master of the Universe?
Hand movements and everything.
Hi, I'm Adam, the most powerful bottom of the universe. Okay.
Well, yeah, Gem and the Holograms, I was already a huge fan of when I was asked to play Bonnie. I own the Bonnie doll, actually. It's one of my prized possessions.
Oh, cool.
Along with my Wonder Woman collection. But, yeah, and it was a huge career highlight because I was already a huge fan, so it was like getting to be on like your favorite TV show. I mean, who gets to do that?
Absolutely. How fun you get to be a cartoon character.
Yeah, and I loved playing girls and girl voices. Of course, my voice no longer... Well, It feels like I talk like this. But yeah.
Now you've got a couple great awards. You were the LGBT Academy of Recording Arts Visionary Award winner.
Yeah, that was a huge honor. They had the ceremony in Vegas, and actually the only other recipient of that award were Dan and Michael, who founded the Out Music Awards, which has been going on for I think about 10 years now. So, but the organization has existed for 22 years. And they really knew 22 years ago that we needed to recognize artists who were openly gay and not afraid to do so. And so it was a huge honor to receive an award along with them, as someone who's been openly gay from the beginning of my career, and also making sure that I was also writing and singing about it in the music, which not a lot of people are still doing, really.
No.
I mean, we have such interesting lives.
Right.
And
you'd think there'd be more mainstream.
And we love pop music, or we love our pop music. At least a lot of us do. So so that's why gotta still represent.
Got to. Then you were also knighted by an organization that's near and dear to my heart, the Imperial Court Network. So talk about, people may not know what that means or what the Imperial Court is.
Well, they're one of the longest-standing human rights organizations. They have a huge annual fundraiser called the Night of 1,000 Gowns,
Yes.
in which they raise tons of money for human rights and for AIDS and AIDS research. And yeah, they knighted me one year. I kneeled in front of a drag queen, and I think that's a bigger honor than kneeling in front of the queen herself.
Because it's such a fantastic organization. Everybody looks great. But
Oh my God! Well, the cool thing about the Night of 1,000 Gowns too is that the men who are dressed like men, it's not all drag. The men are dressed as men, but they are just as shiny and blingy and sparkly as the women, and it just shows you that you can sparkle no matter what gender you feel like performing. So
I always had fun when I go, and I was like, I had to have something new and shiny, and like I found it.
Yeah, and so I adopted the Sir title, people get very bitchy about it, but
Really?
yeah, you know how the gays can be sometimes.
You're just jealous. Sir Ari Gold.
Thank you.
I have no title yet, but that's okay. You made a comment about the way your music has changed over the course of years. You started off being a puppy-loving, bubblegum gay man, to now you call yourself a full-grown-ass gay man. How has your music changed in the scope of because I think that's a fascinating commentary. Because I think we all started off as like little bubblegum pop gay boys.
Well, it's funny though, because I know I've said that. In some ways, there's some elements to my music that I've explored recently that actually might even be considered more poppy and bubblegummy than even stuff that I mean, back my first album had some music that would be called grown folk music.
Right.
Like a lot of jazz elements and soulful chords and stuff like that. But I think lyrically, because I knew absolutely nothing about love except for the fact that I was gay and I wanted to write about being gay and write from the perspective of a gay man and write about falling in love and being in love with men, even though, I mean, my first album I hadn't really had experience being in love with a man. I just had ideas about it. So the ideas were pretty puppy love. But then at the same time, it is funny because, ultimately I believe that an artist's work really doesn't come from them. It comes from, somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
And it's funneled through them, which is why, I can separate some people from their art if I don't necessarily like who they are, what they stand for, but I can still appreciate their art. And so sometimes I do, when I revisit some of my old catalog or even my coming out letter, my 18-page coming out letter to my parents, I said some pretty deep, true shit. Can I say shit on your show?
Absolutely.
And it's kind of, I'm like, how did I know? How did I know? Like sometimes even the older you get, it's like you have to actually try to get back to that place of truth that you came from. It's it's like, wow, like I got somewhere along the way I've gotten muddled. Like I knew back then, things about love that I've forgotten now, and that I actually need to remember how simple it could be in some ways. So it's. Yeah, in some ways I feel, in some ways it was very puppy love-ish, without really having gone through enough. But that is the good thing about experience and age and time, is that you do have a richer life experience to draw from.
So what does inspire you for your music? Where do you pull it all from? Who inspires you? What gets you all that going?
A lot of people, I've heard, songwriters who say that they like to write sometimes a lot of stories that other people they've heard from other people's lives. Well, I have to say I'm very grateful that my life has remained interesting enough to it's just a sort of never-ending pool of inspiration.
Yeah.
And so I really do try to just draw from my own life and do that sort of old adage, write what you know. And that's what I've always done. I really try to write what I know, and and the songs and the writing, there's the time that you sit to perfect what you've written, but the moments of inspiration for me are very, you never know when they're going to come.
It just hits you, you're just
and you're living life, and you're like, okay, a lot of times it's a title, because the title comes to me about something that I'm going through, and then I go from there, or sometimes it's a phrase, and then but I just write things everywhere and sing things into my answering machine still. I know, it's like...
No, do not delete this message and play it. So with titles, because I love the title of your newest single, which is also a video, and it's also the title of a whole album.
Well, the single is called Play My Fucking Record, and the album is a remixed retrospective, and it's called Play My Fucking Remix.
Okay. Which, I love both those titles. And you filmed the video and you ran naked through New York.
Yep.
Which is like the best high camp ever.
Thank you, with the sign that says Play My Fucking Record.
So talk to me about picking that title and why that song and Play My Fucking Remix, all that, because I just think it's phenomenal.
Well, thanks. I mean, there's just different levels to it. I think on some level, it's sort of a call for, it's a positive spin, saying, they do finally play our fucking record, in the sense that gay people are, getting out there, and because for a while, it was like, well, play my fucking record, because we have stories to tell that are important too. So it actually came from a place of like sort of frustration, maybe even some anger.
Because you turn the dial on and you don't always, you hear great music, but you don't really hear
our stories.
Or someone says, well, they're a gay artist, but have they really done a gay song? You're still singing about a boy who falls in love with a girl, and which is fantastic, but what's your story?
Right.
You don't really get to hear that.
Well, you can hear it on my albums.
Yay!
And there are others, and and I hope that I've not only just inspired fans to hear their lives reflected back, but I actually some of the greatest compliments to me are given to me by other artists, other songwriters and singers, male gay singer-songwriters who saw me doing it, and it's made them feel like, oh, I can do that too. So that's the best result of doing what I do. So
because your music reaches so many people, and with Facebook and Twitter, do you have like a favorite fan letter or something someone wrote to you that you didn't realize, wow, I impacted this person's life in such a big way? It sticks out.
It happens all the time. A singer-songwriter approached me on Fire Island, and just like, and it always happens. I get a lot of love from fans all the time, but it also seems to happen where something very special happens just in that moment that I kind of need it, because I'm human, and and it's been an incredible journey being an openly gay artist, but it's also been one that's been very challenging when you are trying to forge a path.
Right.
You know, that in many ways hasn't been forged before. So it can be very challenging, and there's so many obstacles, and sometimes, you know, there's those times when, you know, if you keep, I say this sometimes, like if, you know, sometimes if like someone keeps kicking you down, right, or closing the door, it's not like you necessarily get stronger every time. Sometimes that last door closes, or you get that last kick, and you are bloody on the floor.
Right, you're down. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I really can't get up because you just kicked the living daylights out of me.
Right.
But it's in those moments that somehow, you know, through God's will, whatever you want to call it, I get something that brings me back to life. Jared Jones is something. He's not a fan per se. I mean, he maybe he might call himself an Ari Gold fan. I don't know, but but he's you know, also a musician himself, and he's one of those people that you know, came into my life at just the right moment and saw that, you know, and appreciated what I was doing enough to actually help me get this new project, Play My Fucking Remix, off the ground. So
excellent.
I'm very grateful to him for that.
What message would you give to anyone who's watching this? We've got a lot of kids out there who are still struggling. They're LGBT. Their parents kicked them out of the house, even though we keep saying it gets better. What would you say to them?
Well, other than what I already said in my own It Gets Better
right.
video, I said a lot there, and you know, and I say a lot in the songs too, because I really hope that people can go in and really really read the lyrics and stuff. But what I would say at this moment is, I think one of the most important things is not to isolate yourself, because it depends on where you are. But if you're living in one of those places where you don't feel like there really is anyone else like you, you know, just to really know that that's not true, and that hopefully in time you'll find other people that you feel a kinship with, that do understand you, and that you're not, you know, you're not a freak in a bad way, but you're a freak in a good way.
Right.
And that's what makes you unique, you know. And the thing, it's oftentimes the very things that people might have made fun of you about, or the very things that people might make you feel like you are an outsider about, in time, are actually the very things that you can come to appreciate about yourself. And that's something that when you're in that space and you just can't even imagine. I mean, I went through that too. You can't even imagine that you know, I mean, just being an openly gay artist, and getting that positive feedback from the community, and from fans. It's like to get that feedback about something that I spent so many years just feeling so alone, and like if anyone knew my secret, you know, I would be banished from my community and from my family, and luckily, you know, things are changing, and that's becoming less and less of an issue, but there's still, you know, we're still living in we still have to, every gay person still in this day really does still have to come to that point of realizing, oh, I'm not like most of the things that I'm seeing around, and so it's still, you know, it still takes a lot of strength and courage, and oftentimes courage comes from that vulnerable place. So doing some Brene Brown, Oprah Winfrey work here. So,
the more you know, shooting star.
Right. I used to love those.
If people want to download your music, find out more about Ari Gold, where can they go?
arigold.com, Twitter /Sir Ari Gold, Facebook /Sir Ari Gold, YouTube /Sir Ari Gold. Just Google gay Jewish pop star, and I'm gonna come up eventually. So just get through all the pushy agent stereotype Ari Gold from Entourage, and I'll be somewhere in there. So see, even on Google, the gays are still trying to find their way through visibility.
Right.
So.
This This has been so much fun.
Yes, I love it.
Wow.
Now the real fun begins.
That's right.
Turn the cameras off.
Well, I'm Eric Russell, and I am out and about with Sir Ari Gold. You never know where I'll turn up next, so tune in next time. Stop watching. Yay!